welcome to the August brain dance. So my idea for this one was to really get up and moving right away. I know with the brain dance and with a lot of my warm-ups, I tend to start with my default, which is on the floor. So I wanted to challenge myself and change it up a little bit. So everything in this brain dance is done standing or moving around the room. If you want another similar one to this, I suggest that you check out the traffic video that I did back in July, I believe, which is also takes the brain dance and then moves it around the room so you can get class started quickly with high energy on a good note. Enjoy! Then I might say, let's breathe like a bee. So if a bee was gonna blow up a birthday balloon, what would it sound like? We'll take a big breath in, let it out, like a bee. So you can shake and correspond that movement to the breathing. You'll come up with ideas of your own, or feel free to ask your students because they will no doubt have some great ones to add. For our tactile, this is another one where you're going to get your students involved by having them choose body parts that we're going to tap together. So have one student choose a body part and then another student choose a different body part, and then we're going to work to tap those body parts together. So we might have somebody choose elbow and somebody choose knee. So we're going to find ways to tap those body parts together. And let's see that you choose head and toes. That one might be really hard, right? You might have to pick up a foot, try and tap it. So you'll have lots of fun trying to tap out those different body parts. You can also use different kinds of touch. Besides tapping, you could use tickling or pinching or squeezing. You get to decide with your students. All right, this is a really fun one for core distal. I call these frog jumps, and you'll see why. We're gonna crouch down low like a frog, and then you're gonna jump up and try and high five the ceiling, like a frog is trying to jump. You can also do this one with a jumping jack motion, down and out and together. And for an added bonus, you can even have them do this one in a circle or traveling around the room. Okay, now for the head portion of head tail, we're gonna play a little game that I call heads up, heads down. And I talk about this game more in my teacher tip for the first week of August. You can go check that out back in previous videos if you'd like. So the premise of this game is that everybody stands in a circle and you start with your head down. When the teacher says head up, everybody brings their head up and they have to find eye contact with somebody or somebody, yeah, let's say somebody, not something else in the circle. But if the person across from one another, if they are looking at each other, they're out. So pretend you are a person. We go head down, heads up. If we were looking at each other, we'd both be out. So it's a really simple one for isolating that head and getting everybody moving and paying attention right away. Now for tail, we're gonna imagine that we have hula hoops, or maybe you do actually have hula hoops, and we're just gonna practice that motion with a hula hoop. Then make it more challenging by having the dancers in the circle try and walk and hula hoop and change places. I'm horrible at the hula hoop, I could not do it, but I bet your students will be able to, and that is your head and tail. For upper and lower, we're going to tell a little story. So imagine that we are in search of a treasure or something. We're going looking for something, but the first thing that we have to do is climb way up high a mountain. So we're going to reach for a rope, or maybe we're in the jungle and we're reaching for vines, or we're rock climbing. So we're using the strength of our arms to really pull ourselves up. Then when we get to the top of our mountain or our cliff, there's a monster that's going to chase us. So we're going to have to run really fast to get away from the monster, and that is your head and tail. Next up is body side, and we're going to do a little yoga for this one, a little tree pose. So what I like to do when I'm introducing this one to my students is to tell them about opposing forces. So you can do this with your hands to start and tell them that one hand is going to press into the other hand and the other hand is going to press back into that hand. So this isn't just like a passive pose, but we're really pressing into each other, and you can have them do that with a partner to really get the motion of pressing into on both sides. But we're going to do that with tree. So you can have them do it just a little baby one here at the ankle, at the calf, or if they're feeling super fancy, you've got some older students, you can take your tree all the way up. Now once you've got it there, see if you can use that same arm of leg that's up to maybe be a branch, right? You can shake the branches off, and then once you get really good, maybe you take that foot out and you can use it to the front, to the side. Woo, it'll be a little wobbly, but you're gonna try and move that body side with one side, and then of course, whatever you do on one side, make sure you're doing on the other side as well with your tree. Almost to the end of our standing brain dance, and this one's really fun. I call it the Highland Fling. So basically all you're gonna do is jump your feet apart in a second position, and then jump back in and cross them. Jump and cross. It's pretty cool, simple movement. We like to do it a lot in my hip hop classes. So once they've got the legs down, you can just have them do that with the legs. You can have them do it in place or traveling through space, switching spots with a partner. Then add the arms as well. Like you're giving yourself a big hug. This is where the fling parts come in, all right? Then when you're ready, you can put them all together so it'll look like this. Open, cross, open, cross, open, cross, open, cross. And that's your Highland Fling for cross lateral. Very lastly, for your vestibular, I would have them do that Highland Fling, but I'd have them do it around in a circle, or maybe at the start of a freeze dance. You could have them switching spots or do it in lines. You get to choose, but you're going to keep that jumping motion going to activate the vestibular system, or have them do turns, anything that's going to, like we said, initiate that vestibular system. But keep doing those Highland Flings. It'll be a good workout not only for your students, but for you as well. Happy dancing. See you next time.